Hello, my dear. If you're reading this, chances are you know the constant, unwelcome companion that is chronic pain. It is a shadow that follows you even on the brightest of days. It is there when you wake, a dull ache or a sharp reminder that today will be a challenge. It sits with you at the breakfast table, walks with you through the day, and often keeps you from a peaceful night's sleep. People cannot see it, of course. You might look perfectly well on the outside, but inside, you are running a marathon that never seems to end, navigating a world that was not built for your body's limits. This constant companion can be terribly isolating, can't it? It builds walls around you, brick by invisible brick. Friends might invite you out and you have to say no again. Family might not fully grasp why some days are better than others, why you can manage a walk one day and are confined to the sofa the next. This lack of understanding, though often not meant with any malice, can make one feel dreadfully alone. It is a very quiet, very personal battle. You learn to wear a brave face, to smile through the discomfort, because explaining the depth of it feels too exhausting, too repetitive. The world keeps spinning at its usual frantic pace. You see people rushing about, making plans, living lives that seem so effortlessly active, and you feel left behind. It's a grief, really, a mourning for the life you thought you would have, for the simple ease of movement you once took for granted. The frustration can be immense. You want to join in, to be spontaneous, to simply exist without this constant negotiation with your own body. This feeling of being on the outside looking in is one of the heaviest burdens that pain asks us to carry. And so, we learn to live in a slightly different world. A world measured not in grand achievements, but in small, quiet victories. Getting dressed without a wince, making a cup of tea for oneself, reading a chapter of a book without the pain becoming too distracting. These tiny triumphs become our milestones. They are the footholds we find on a very steep climb. It is a profound adjustment, this shift in perspective. It requires a strength that few will ever see, a resilience that is forged in the silent moments of endurance, day after day after day. In this quiet battle, the most important voice is the one inside your own head. And I wonder, how do you speak to yourself on a difficult day? So often, we become our own harshest critics. We might scold ourselves for not being able to do more, for giving in to the pain. We might compare ourselves to who we used to be, or to others who seem to cope so much better. This inner critic can be more relentless than the pain itself, adding a layer of shame and guilt to an already heavy load. It is a cruel habit, and one we must gently try to unlearn. The first step, and perhaps the most powerful, is to practice a little self-compassion. Try to speak to yourself as you would a dearly loved friend who is struggling. You would not tell them to just get on with it, would you? Of course not. You would offer them comfort, a warm blanket, and words of gentle reassurance. You would tell them it is all right to rest, that they are doing their very best, and that their worth is not measured by their productivity. We must learn to offer ourselves that same grace, that same unconditional kindness. This means acknowledging the pain without judgment. Instead of fighting it with frustration, try to soften around it. You might say to yourself, the pain is very loud today, that is all right. I will be gentle with myself. I will do what I can, and that is enough. This is not giving up. It is a wise and compassionate response. It is about conserving your precious energy for healing and coping, rather than wasting it on an internal war. It is a radical act of self-care to simply allow yourself to be as you are in that moment, pain and all. It takes practice, this habit of kindness. It will not feel natural at first, especially if you have spent years being hard on yourself. Start small. When you catch that critical voice, just pause. Take a soft breath, and then intentionally replace the harsh thought with a gentler one. My body is working so hard. Rest is not a weakness. It is a necessity. I am worthy of care. These small whispers of kindness, repeated over time, can begin to quiet the storm inside and create a space for peace, even amidst the physical discomfort. When your world has shrunk because of pain, it becomes essential to find the beauty that still exists within its smaller borders. The grand adventures may be out of reach for now, but joy has not vanished. It has simply become quieter, more subtle. It is waiting to be discovered in the simplest of things, if only we remember to look. The grand tapestry of life is woven with these small golden threads, and our task is to seek them out, to hold them, and to be grateful for their warmth, however fleeting they may seem to be. Think about the senses. What small pleasure can you find right now? Perhaps it is the feeling of a soft blanket against your skin, or the comforting aroma of a freshly brewed pot of tea, its steam curling in the air. Maybe it is the sound of birdsong outside your window, a cheerful chatter that costs nothing to enjoy. It could even be the taste of a piece of good chocolate melting slowly on your tongue. These are not cures for pain, heavens no, but they are moments of respite. They are tiny anchors to the present, reminding you that life is more than just your pain. It can be helpful to actively collect these moments. Some people keep a small notebook, a joy journal, where they write down 1 or 2 good things that happened each day. It doesn't have to be anything momentous. Saw a particularly beautiful cloud, my cat curled up on my lap, heard a favorite song on the radio. Looking back on these entries can be a powerful reminder on difficult days that light does get in, even through the cracks. It shifts your focus, training your mind to notice the good that coexists with the hard. This practice helps to balance the scales. Pain demands so much of our attention. It is loud, insistent, and all-consuming. By intentionally seeking out and savoring these small pockets of peace and pleasure, we reclaim a little bit of our mental space. We are telling ourselves and the pain that it does not own us completely. There are still parts of our experience that are filled with gentleness, beauty, and simple delight. And nurturing those parts is a vital way to protect our spirit and keep hope alive in our hearts. Perhaps the most damaging lie that chronic pain tells us is that we are utterly alone in our struggle. When you are housebound, when you cancel plans, when you feel misunderstood, it is so easy to believe that no one else could possibly know what this feels like. But I want to tell you, with all the sincerity in my heart, that you are not alone. There are millions of us all over the world living in this club that none of us ever wanted to join. We are a silent community, but we are vast, and our shared experience connects us. Reaching out can feel like a monumental effort when your energy is low, but it is one of the most important things you can do for your mental well-being. This does not have to mean bearing your soul to everyone you meet. It can be a simple, honest conversation with a trusted friend or family member. It might be saying, "I'm having a very difficult pain day today and I'm feeling a bit low." Letting someone in, even just a little, can lift an enormous weight. It pierces the bubble of isolation and reminds you that you are seen and cared for. Sometimes the best support comes from those who truly get it. Finding a support group, whether in person or online, can be transformative. To speak your truth and have someone nod and say, "Yes, I know exactly what you mean," is a form of medicine all its own. In these spaces, you do not have to explain or justify yourself. You can share the frustrations and the small victories with people who understand the language of chronic pain. You can learn from their wisdom and, in turn, offer your own. So please, my dear, hold on. Be as kind to yourself as you possibly can be. Look for the tiny glimmers of joy that dot your days. And remember, when you feel most alone, that there is a quiet, invisible web of people who share your journey. We are here. We understand. Your strength is immense, even if you cannot see it yourself. You are navigating an incredibly difficult path with courage and resilience every single day, and that is something truly remarkable. You are enough, just as you are.